Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name's Steve, that's Howie, and today I'm roughly at the same location as I was last week. Last week I was first thing in the morning. I was just on the other side of the valley over there, trying to get a sunrise shot, but never happened, so that's last week's video. This week I've decided to come out in the evening, basically on the other side of the valley, see what we can get. Roughly the same kind of landscape. I'll just swing around behind me. We can see we've got some lovely burnt oranges on those ferns, and we've got some lovely purple heathers going on. A bit of a bank of cloud just behind me up there. The sun is breaking through, so fingers crossed we can get sunset tonight. I'm just going to take a wander around and see what this area offers me. I'm thinking we've got quite a lot of lone trees dotted around everywhere. Now if I can get down low enough, shoot up at them, might be able to get a good image that way. If it stays like this, maybe get some really dramatic clouds going on. If not, we'll get a good sunset. Let's see how we go, shall we? Right, first image of the evening. Well, the weather's deciding what it wants to do, whether it wants to be sunny or cloudy. I've come across my first image. It caught me just as I was walking up around the back there by those trees up there. So I'll just swing you around and show you. It's basically a fallen tree and it's bright white. It's been dead for some time. Looks like a lot of ponies have rubbed themselves up against it because it's really smooth, just like what Howie's doing at the moment. But from a distance and at the right angle, it looked like some kind of spider had climbed out, a giant spider had climbed out of the woodland here. So I'm going to be taking that as my first image. I'm not quite sure if it'll work or not, but I think I'll give it a go anyway. Well, I'm not quite sure if you can see in the back of the screen there my pretend giant spider that's crawling out from behind the woodland. I'll just zoom in a bit. And I just want to make sure that I'm in focus on it. Oh, God blimey, there we go. 140 mil. Let's have a look. What are we on? We're on 60th of a second, f5.6, ISO 100. Now the sun is dipping in and out, so I'm not quite sure if this would be the image that I take, or I might take a couple more. But I'm thinking make this a little bit dark and moody, and then give it a little bit more atmosphere as to what I'm trying to achieve by this pretend giant spider that's crawling out. Let's see how that comes out. Right, so the sun's decided to pop its head out over the clouds now, and the next image I've got a choice of two trees, either that Scotch pine or that Scotch pine. I think I've just had a walk around and I think the best one out of the two is this one on the left hand side here. That has got a lot more cloud behind it, quite moody looking cloud, and it's quite contrasty as well. The sun is just hitting that tree really well, and where the tree's got some very light coloured branches on it, it's really popping. It's looking a bit of a sorry state for a Scotch pine because it's got no needles on it, but I think as a backdrop as well, this image will work pretty well. I'll just put it onto the tripod and I'll talk you through the image. So I framed it up with the Scotch pine to the first third on the left hand side of the image. Obviously we've got all the clouds in the background and they're pretty contrasty. Got a little bit of purple in the foreground with the heather, and the sun is really hitting those branches nicely. So It's really illuminating. Let's just make sure that's in focus. There we go. Come back out again. So 60th of a second, f11 ISO 100. Let's see if that is going to work. I think it will. I'm just going to play around. Let's just go 50th of a second. Just let a little bit more light in. See if that's any better. Not quite sure. Whichever one I do, I'll pop it up for you. So just got under an hour to go, got about 45 minutes before the sun goes down, and it's looking quite promising tonight for some kind of decent sunset. Got a couple of heavy clouds that are just about to cover the sun, but I think lower down we haven't got any clouds at all. So if we can get that sun lower than the clouds that they're at the moment, it should illuminate the sky, and we've got plenty of clouds that will catch the colour. So I've got about a mile to walk to my next location, which is right over in the far distance there. We've got some trees that are scattered out over there, and they look quite interesting. So 20-minute walk over there, see if we can get sunset. Right, so I've just made it over to my next location. It's been about 20-minute walk or so from right over there in the far distance, and it's not really floating my boat. It did look really good to start with from a distance, but obviously when I got here it wasn't as good as I thought it was. So I've decided just to see if I can capture some kind of image. So I've decided to put my 10 to 24mm Tamron lens on. I've got it down quite low. We're going to use some of these ferns in the foreground, let it lead through, and the sun's directly in front of us. Hopefully we can capture some light that pops when the sun goes down just a little bit lower. But we have got some really stormy clouds going up above, so I'm quite happy about that. So we can get some pretty dramatic sky going on, but unfortunately I can't really find a foreground because it's just basically all heathland. Got a few trees over there, but that's not really doing it for me, like I say. So I'm just going to use these ferns in the foreground and just let the image lead up into this great big moody sky, really. So what I will be doing on this particular image is I'll be shooting at f11 ISO 100, and it'll be a 1/10 of a second to start with. I'm going to put it on autofocus. So we've got the trees to the right hand side, the sun directly in the middle, and we've got the clouds going overhead. Then I'm going to drop it down to a 1/5 of a second, and then we can start to gradually get some of the foreground to be a little bit brighter. And now a 1/3 of a second. So we've got the foreground now, it's really nice and clear, but it's starting to get blown out a bit in the top. So what I'll do is I'll merge all three pictures together, and I'll use the lighter part of the pictures for the foreground, and the darker parts of the picture on the shorter shutter speed. Hopefully that should come out pretty well. I've just taken some pictures of some panoramas. I didn't talk you through them because the light was fading so quickly, and I wasn't quite sure if we're going to get any more light tonight. I don't think I am. Sun's gone down and it's just quite moody clouds, but I did like them, so that's why I took a couple of pictures of them. I'll probably have to make my move back to the car now. It's about a half-hour walk, and by the time I get back it'll be pitch black, so I have no idea where I'm going. I think it's down that way somewhere, hopefully. And hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please like and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.